Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to now so the Ninja Warrior podcast. And tonight, after a couple of weeks of this special being out, we are finally going to be covering the American Ninja Warrior 13/14 family competition.
Yeah, so this is a really weird situation because this was filmed way back when the EW13 semifinals was done back in LA and last year, but it aired a whole year after it was filmed and after EW14 stuff.
Yeah, I was really questioning if this family special was even a thing because it hadn't aired, but they were just saving it for Labor Day, and this is a fucking somber way to end either season. Yeah, it honestly feels very out of place. At least right now, I know we called it EW 13/14. I don't really know what season to call this a part of, because there's no clear season it is. It was aired with EW 14, so it's officially considered part of EW 14, but again, it reeks of being a part of EW 13. So under our definition, it's EW 13. Yeah, so there was gonna be a community poll over. There is probably going to be a poll, or before this video actually comes out, that would determine what I name the episode. If I'm going to say to 14 family competition or 13 or 13/14. So we'll see on that. But right now, just to call it 13/14, it seems more fitting. But on the video thumbnail and such, it will be something different probably. But generally speaking, we're just gonna quickly go through this episode and cover it because it's kind of out of obligation, honestly. If we don't, then I feel like people will talk. I feel like people would annoy us and berate us when you guys never talked about this. So that's what we're doing. Yeah, so let's get into the format for this competition, which was honestly the only way this type of competition could have worked with the way they did this.
Yeah, it's okay, so similar to the All-Stars, I guess. As they have a relay race to where all three members of the family run the course as different parts. Each taking on two obstacles of the really easy qualifying course from AW13 semifinals, and only half of it and only the half qualifiers, so yeah. The obstacles were the shrinking steps, wait for it, split decisions, domino effect, and bullet rubber, air surfer, sideways, and the warp wall.
Yeah, I'll be honest here. These obstacles would be easy for any other competitor, but because these are family ninjas and most of them don't have any kind of experience and are underaged, these are for some reason hard obstacles for most of these families.
Yeah, the big ninja killers seem to be the two balance obstacles of on split decision, as most of the time the middle person would fail there. But but there was also a rule with that as well, as you had to pick the second split decision on your you had to pick the second split decision obstacle on the second round, the one you didn't pick earlier, and you have to change out your layout for the second round as well.
Yeah, basically it comes down to total obstacle completion. Both families would win twice, and the combined number of points would lead them to a 2-round Power Tower playoff, similar to the women's competition, where the top 2 families would win, where the top 4 families would win, and then the winner of those 2 matches would go head-to-head for the final championship match.
Yeah, so this was definitely a weird competition. Obviously, you didn't have to complete both courses, even though I really do think you should have had to. And secret, no one did that.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, yes, but we have to go through it, so let's just get into this. Starting with the first family, being the Lewis family, featuring Darius Lewis, Lowell Lewis, and Derek Lewis, who are family of people who are only really here because Akbar knows the dad. He played with them in football.
Yeah, that's the only reason why these guys are here, as they do not have any prior ninja experience. The commentators obviously make sense, but still, they are propping them up constantly and saying this is so amazing, when I don't care.
Yeah, none of us, I don't think any of us do, really, because, it's kind of disappointing to see us. like, just from a viewer standpoint, this is honestly the most boring thing ever. And they try to make it the most entertaining thing ever, but it just isn't. After that, we have the Weber family, which featured Ninja veteran Ian Weber, who I've never heard of. He ran with his wife, Carissa Weber, and nephew, Caleb Weber. That's Caleb. And two of the and they ended up getting 4 obstacles cleared with with Carissa failing but Weber.
Yeah, I guess we should have mentioned this for the first round, guys. Both Noel and Derek ended up failing obstacles, and they only got 2 points.
Yeah, I get a second round disallowed for a comeback here, but it generally probably isn't going to happen because other rounds, but, because of other families and people with actual ninjas that we know. But, yeah. After that, we had a fast-forward segment featuring a couple of families, which included
the Johnson family, which was Presley Johnson, Cody Johnson, and Wiley Johnson. 2 of those people we saw last season.
Yep, so these 3 won with Cody and Presley clearing their obstacles. However, Wiley ended up failing sideways, meaning they only got 4 points.
Yeah, then we had Jimmy Choi, and oh god, welcome to the worst segment of the episode, people!
Yeah, they make a huge deal about this guy with Parkinson's, and it's fine, it's inspirational, but because NBC has to be NBC, they milk the hell out of it. And I think the best thing out of this is the fact that Jimmy Choi gets his AW13 one shown for the first time ever, because that was cut from the episode.
Yeah, they act like he's such a recognizable man, but yeah, I feel like 2 people know who he is.
Yeah, he brings in his wife, his cousin, and daughter. His daughter being too young for ninja at 13. So that's a pretty big point right there.
Yeah, this I believe in our family later on have underage competitors, and that's literally just giving underage people a free pass in Ninja. Like, that's why Ninja Warrior Jr. exists. If they don't have kids older than 15, then I don't know why they're eligible.
Yeah, in addition to the lengths they have to go for some of these ninja competitors, like, it feels really pointless. Is to put these underage people in there, like, nothing displaying them. Not them as people, I mean just the idea of allowing them to be on the big show. Like, I'm honestly trying to phrase this in the nicest way possible. So it's okay to have these kids compete, obviously, but just not on the big show. Have them on EMU Junior, but here they just don't belong, because this goes only 13. 2 full years before you're supposed to be on the show.
Yeah, it's honestly weird. It's honestly stupid. Like, it's even an official downgrade. This is an exception. And I honestly don't think there should be an exception. And judging by what you just said, I don't think you do either.
No, I don't. Yeah, but anyway, they made a huge deal about Jimmy Choi getting his first buzzer in this one, which wouldn't even count as a real buzzer because you only cleared 2 obstacles. But, of course, he got that buzzer, and his other 2 families failed their obstacles, so they ended up coming out with 4 points in total. And, yeah, they begin to move on to the Aura family, who is also in the Fast Forward segment.
Yep, we have Hannah Aura, Josh Aura, and Kenneth Aura. Josh Aura being the only ninja veteran from here, competing at AW Junior Season 1.
Yes, he might also compete in the future because he is 15. But the point is that Hannah fell on Waitful and then Josh fell on Air Surfer, with Caleb completing his section, meaning that the team would go out with 4 points.
Yep, and next up we had the Heinrichs family, which features Sokola Heinrichs, Sean Heinrichs, and veteran Annabelle Heinrichs.
Yeah, these ninjas, they have a lot of experience from ninja competitions, but this is actually the first time they had actually competed, as Annabella would not compete till next season, and the other 2 hadn't competed before this at all.
Yeah, Sokola, she would compete next season. However, Sokola is actually only 14 during the specials filming, which also made me complain, but she looked fine out there, honestly.
Yeah, it's a weird situation. I think a lot of people just don't care. It's just all annoying bias. Just criticizing these underage ninjas. But honestly, to me, it's just annoying to see them. annoying to see them. But anyway, all three of them ended up clearing the obstacles, meaning they got 6 points total. And I believe they were one of only 2 families to do that during the first round. So that was good.
Yeah, generally, pretty good. Pretty good. Good.
Yep, and after that we had
the White family, which featured Roman White, Mike White, and Nikki White. So obviously, Mike White is really the only known ninja, and now he being a Speedo ninja. And, yeah, because he was the only ninja to really clear anything.
Yeah, his cousin, Roman White, had no ninja experience, so he kind of stumbled through striking steps, barely getting a clear out of it, and then failing the second obstacle, wait for it. And then Nikki immediately fell sideways about 5 seconds after getting on the obstacle. Then we had probably the best. We had the best one out of the round 1, that being the Beckstrand family, featuring being the only group of families that actually competed, all 3 members of it compete on the show at least once. These being Holly Beckstrand, Kai Beckstrand, and Brian Beckstrand. And of course, these 3 did really well, being one of only 2 teams to complete all the obstacles within the round.
Yeah, this is probably the only team I was really hyped for, and yeah, they do it, honestly. We get to see them.
Yep, after that we had the Odell family, which featured Amanda, George, and Trey, right? Mom, dad, and son. I don't really have any kind of notes on their one, except for George fell on domino effect, meaning they came out with 4 points. And finally, we had the Zimmerman family, who was safe for last.
Yep, the Zimmerman family, they had Charlie Zimmerman, Brett Zimmerman, and Sadie Zimmerman. All of them competed on Ninja before, with Brett competing in AW Junior Season 1.
Yeah, they had this really good segment about Charlie not making the cut for the team. And honestly, it was kind of funny, but it definitely felt staged. But because they're considering underage people, I really am surprised Lindsay wasn't considered for this as well, if they were really actually considering not putting Charlie in there.
Yeah, because Lindsay, I think, is 13 or 14, and if they really don't care about age brackets, she should have been there. Or at least could have been, I should say.
Yeah, no, nothing against Charlie. They had an interesting one, as Charlie almost failed the wait for it, where he had a one-handed save, and Brett almost failed air surfer, where he barely made the final jump. That led Sandy to fall on sideways, probably being the most surprising thing that happened during this entire special.
Yeah, honestly, I was expecting her to clear, so having her fail early was honestly quite surprising. But it seems like a trend with her because she's been failing obstacles nonstop, and it's been kind of surprising because she hasn't moved on to the semis since season 12, I believe.
Yeah, generally speaking, you're right. That ends round 1 with the Beckstrand family and the Heinrich family being on top at 6 points each. And we move on to round 2. Now, round 2 looks the same way as round 1, except your points from round 1 carry over, and they combine with your points from this round.
Yeah, so the most you can get out of a point is 12, and unfortunately no competitors end up getting this. But, yeah, I think we should, but we'll quickly go through it, obviously.
Yeah, so starting off with round 2, of course, we have the
Johnson family, who ended up getting a segment about Cody Johnson mostly and no one else.
Yeah, it's honestly a nothing segment, but cool for Cody to get some spotlight. Their one had Wiley Johnson first, and she quit her obstacles. And Presley would go next, who would go out on domino effect. And after we had Cody, who ended up having an energetic one through his 2 obstacles, ended up clearing the court, clearing his section, leaving the team with a total of 8 points.
Yeah, they were not able to move on, surprisingly enough, but definitely still a good performance from all 3 of them. After we had the Alla family, who ended up, we had the Alla family, who had Caleb first, who ended up clearing his obstacles. Then we had Anna Howard, who quit the 3rd obstacle, but failed the 4th. And then we had Josh, who was able to close it out and get his 2 points, meaning the team ended up with 9 points and was able to move on to the Tower playoffs.
Yep, after that we had the Lewis family in a fast-forward segment where they failed all 3 of their obstacles, so they left the competition with only 2 points. Again, why were they even here? Aside from the fact that Akbar worked with the dad, why?
Yeah, it's kind of pointless, but Anyway, after that, we had the Odell family, the next shown one. On one who ended up getting in the next shown one who ended up having both Trey and George complete their obstacles, with Amanda failing hers was seconds after on Sideways. On Sideways.
Yep. Then we had the Heinrichs family, which had a pretty all-white package about tea and how they sell tea. Like, Jesus Christ, no one cares. But anyway, we had Sean complete the first obstacle but failed the second. We had Annabelle Heinrich complete her obstacles, and Sakura immediately failed Sideways 2 seconds after first attempting it.
Yeah, I'm honestly not surprised, but going into it, it was, but yeah, they ended up moving on.
Yep, and after that we had
the Zimmerman family, who had a really good one here.
Yep, they were the only team in round 2 who were able to complete the entire course without any fails. As all 3 ninjas ended up clearing their obstacles, and they ended off with 10 points. Yep, then we had the White family who had Nicolai fail on Wait For It, and Roman fail on Blood Level, while Mike ended up clearing, ending their score with 6 points.
Similarly, the Weber family went next with the first two teammates falling on their first obstacles. However, Ian Weber, the only experienced member, ended up getting a buzzer, leaving them with 6 points as well.
Yep, after that we had the Beckstrand family, who had probably the only other really entertaining one, as Brian and Kelly both got through the obstacles, but Holly surprisingly didn't with hers, as she fell on domino effect, and that ended their perfect record. And finally we had the Troy family, who once again had a very hyped up one. Surprisingly enough, Katrina ended up getting through the Sideways. Like, that surprised me, and she almost got up the wall but couldn't. And if she did, she would have put the Troy family in a tie with 2 other teams.
Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder, what happens if there's more than 5 moving on within a tie situation? Because that realistically could have happened.
Yeah, I do wonder. Maybe it could have came down to time, which probably would make more sense, if I'm being honest, like total time throughout the course. But I feel like because of falls, that might not be as consistent. So honestly, I don't know how they would have done that.
Yeah, I kind of wish we could have known. Oh, and maybe we'll be special next year. That would happen.
Yeah, that's the only reason why we really need a special next year.
Yeah, no. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, alright, so after that, Choice family ended up with 8 points and wasn't able to move on, meaning the final 4 were the Zimmerman family, the Beckstrand family, the Alla family, and the Heinrichs family, who all went head-to-head on the Power Tower, where we saw a kind of new Power Tower.
Yep, it was a similar layout to Season 13's. It was basically the same except for one obstacle change, that being Carl Climb being added, it being a brand new obstacle. It was actually the hardest thing on there, if I'm being honest. It was kind of confusing and tripped up one of the ninjas as well. And the final obstacle, then we had the cliffhanger, and finally the dropping shell, and finally the dropping shelves.
Yep, this was definitely really weird because instead of having like a best 2 out of 3 thing like you may think, they just had all the 4 families have all 3 members tag team each other just like on the course, and I'm just like, for a Power Tower, is this really necessary?
Yeah, no, I'll be honest. Yeah, I feel like they should have just done one round and then these matchups. Because that would have been way more entertaining than getting 2 boring rounds and then just 3 matchups at the Power Tower. I don't feel like actual matchups.
Yeah, no, going over them really quickly. The first matchup between the Zimmermans and the Allers, where the Allers ended up winning. And the second match between the Beckstrands and the Heinrichs, with the Beckstrands winning. And neither of these matches were really all that intense or close, where one family clearly pulled ahead by the end with one slip up on the rope from each of the middle members. And that led to the final matchup between the Allers and the Beckstrands, this being probably the only exciting thing throughout the entire episode.
Yeah, this was actually a kind of close race with both teams being neck and neck going to the final ninjas.
Yep. Josh and Kai had a really interesting fight on the flying shell, on the dropping shells, similar to Megan Martin and Jessie LeBlanc from the Women's Championship specials. How Megan ended up coming back with several one-swingers. Same with Josh, he was behind, but he took 2 one-swinger dismounts and ended up quailing just barely before Kai, about half a second before him.
Yeah, and that ended up giving the Oilers the trophy and ended up becoming the first and hopefully only family champions of the AEW family competition.
Yeah, this special was really boring, felt really out of place because it where it aired, and honestly, the only really that final matchup was really worth seeing.
Yeah, no, I would honestly skip this one if you really didn't care for it.
Yeah, but that's honestly all we have to say. I think now we can close out with our outro.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. In the next episode, I think it's likely we're doing the Stage 5 Ninja Awards.
Yeah, there's no other obligation we really need to take care of beforehand. So, yeah, whether AEW Junior comes out or not during that gap, we will be covering the Stage 5 Ninja Awards. And I can't say when it will be done, but I have already made progress, way more progress than we did last year, where I actually wrote the document of different ninjas and award nominees. Well, last year I didn't even do that because I didn't wanna.
It's kind of funny. I mean, that's the only thing we didn't do for season 13. Everything else we did full on.
Yeah, but this season we're actually gonna do it. We just need to set up a show date to announce the winners. And, yeah, this one is definitely going to be different. Unlike last year to where it was a little bit unstructured and my fan base was a little bit small and it was inefficient how we had to do a voting situation and no one ended up voting because of, probably the way we did it and because the podcast really wasn't all that popular on the channel as a whole. But nowadays, most of the, the podcast does get some recommendation and views, not as much as the montages, obviously, but the podcast, it being an analysis series, a lot of the fans do watch it, which is good. But I do feel like also a lot of the people will click on it, saying Stage 5 Ninja Awards. But the main thing I want to talk about here is the fact that since we have community polls now, the plan is to do those. For each individual category for the fan voted stuff. And we also have decided by the 3 of us to discussion beforehand on the awards as well.
Yeah, we are probably going to talk more about it when the time eventually comes to do those awards. But honestly, I'm really excited. To finally get to do them again. And of course, we are finally done with this special. And honestly, I'm glad.
Yeah, this was kind of an obligation. I honestly think it would feel weird not to cover it. But at the same time, it's not something I really felt like sitting through again. But it was alright with you guys.
Funny, well, the only benefit for this rewatch.
Yeah, you're right there. I'm right there with you, Crystal. It really does feel like that. Yeah, that's why I have co-host. Alright! Anyway, next time, like we said, we are going to be the Stage 5 Ninja Awards and nominees, announcing everyone for each category. And then the episode afterwards, we are going to be doing the winners. And then after that, whatever ninja thing we come up with. But unless Ninja Junior is out by then, we will probably be taking a break until Ninja Junior airs. Or something else pops up that we want to cover.
Yeah, but anyway, we will see you guys next time for the Stage 5 Ninja Award nominees announcements. Peace.